welcome. We are learning about the proteomics, and up to date we have learned that what is the proteomics and what is the significance of the proteomics. When a person it has to study the proteomics, it has to go for first the separation and isolation of the proteins, and then that proteins, that isolated proteins, it has to characterized and it has to be identified, and then the database study of that proteins it is going to be done. So the first step for the proteomics or for the proteome analysis, it is the separation and isolation of the proteins. And in the molecular biology, the best method for the separation and isolation of the proteomic proteins, it is the polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis. Polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis. Okay, this is the most frequently used method for the isolation of the proteins. Okay, it is the polyacrylamide gel electrophoresis. It is the SDS page. Okay, so here the today's video it is about the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis, and the second one it is the DIGE, that is a difference gel electrophoresis. So first going towards this two-dimensional gel electrophoresis. The two-dimensional gel electrophoresis, it is used for the separation and isolation of the proteins. So here previously the method which is used, it is a SDS page and it is a one dimension. Okay, it is a one dimensional SDS page it is used. The one dimension SDS page means what? There is run of the gel. Okay, run of the polyacrylamide gel, the SDS page. Okay, here the samples they are loaded with the markers, and there is the analysis of the proteins. Okay, but here when there is a study of the proteins on the one dimensional SDS page, at that time the separation and the isolation it is a limited one. The proteins which are fractionated, okay, that proteins they are only going to be analyzed over this SDS page, one dimensional SDS page. If you are going to load the crude extract, at that time it is becoming a difficult task for the identification, for the isolation of the proteins. So the method it has been came, and that method it is a two-dimensional gel electrophoresis. Okay, it is a two-dimensional gel electrophoresis. That is, there is a use of the two types of the electrophoresis. Okay, here in the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis, there is a use of the two types of the gel electrophoresis. First one, it is a isoelectric focusing. Okay, the first dimension it is the isoelectric focusing, and the second dimension it is the SDS page. So here, okay, so here in the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis, the two characteristics they are used for the separation. In the first, there is a separation of the proteins according to its PI, that is the isoelectric point. Separation of the proteins according to its isoelectric point, it is done into the isoelectric focusing, and then there is, okay, then there is the separation of the proteins according to the molecular mass. Okay, so here the first dimension, there is a separation of the proteins according to its isoelectric point, and the second one, it is separation of the proteins according to its molecular mass. So here in the first dimension, okay, the first dimension it is the isoelectric focusing, and previously that isoelectric focusing it is done into the tube gels, and now it is done into the flattened gel or flattened gel. Okay, now here in the isoelectric focusing gel electrophoresis, there is a use of, okay, there is a use of the ampholytes, and these ampholytes they are used to create the pH gradient. Okay, so for the creation of the pH gradient, chemically synthesized ampholytes they are used, and it is the pH gradient it is going to be set up. So here from the pH 0 to the pH 14, okay, the gradient it is going to be set up. Now here there is the loading of the protein, and now the electric current it is going to be applied and allow the sample of the proteins to get run. Okay, so the proteins they will run. Now in the isoelectric focusing, what is going to happen? The proteins which are going to reach in a region where the pi value they are the same of the protein, that protein now it is going to be retired. Now proteins they are made up of the amino acids. Okay, so the amino acids it has the isoelectric point, that is the point where the charge over the amino acid it is a 0. And as the proteins they are made up of the amino acids, the proteins also has the isoelectric point, that is at a particular pH net charge over the proteins it is going to be a 0. So when there is a run of the proteins in such a type of the gels, the proteins now when they are going to reach in a zone of the pi, at that time that proteins they are going to retard there. Okay, they are not going to move further. Why this is going to happen? Because the proteins when they are moving into the electric field, it should have a charge. Okay, and as they are going to reach into such a region where the net charge over the proteins it is a 0, they are not going to migrate. And for the migration of the proteins, for the migration of any molecule under the electric field, what is required? The charge it is required, but here there is a no charge over the protein, so there is a separation of the proteins according to its isoelectric pH. Okay, nowadays instead of the ampholytes, there is the use of the immobilized gel gradient. Okay, in this way there is, okay, in the first dimension, that is firstly the electrophoresis which is going to be carried out, it is a isoelectric focusing, separation of the proteins according to its pi. Okay, after this separation, the second dimension it is going to come. The second type of the electrophoresis it is also going to be done, and that it is the SDS page. Now here this gel, this tube gel or this slice gel, then that gel it is going to be taken. The tube it is going to be broken down, and now that tube it is going to be placed over. Okay, that tube it is going to be placed over the SDS page. Okay, on this gel there is a placing of this gel. Okay, and now there is a run of the sample, and here you have to run the marker with it also. Okay, so here the first well it will be of the marker. Now here there is, okay, next here it is your gel, and suppose now here we will take the 2 spots now here. Okay, these are the 2 spots, that is the 2 bands. Okay, the gel consisting of the 2 bands. Here we have shown the number of one, but here for the convenience we are taking only the 2 spots. Okay, now allow the gel to run. So what will happen? There will be the migration of the proteins, and that migration of the proteins it will be according to its mass. And here the marker it is also going to be run. Okay, in this way. Okay, there is a run. Now here you can see that, though here, here it is a single spot. Okay, and what we have shown here, 1, 2 and 3 bands into the SDS page. What it indicates? It indicates that there are the 3 proteins which has the same pi value. Okay, so for the higher resolution, here first we are going to separate the proteins according to the pi, then according to the molecular weight. In the isoelectric focusing, we are getting a one spot, and that one spot again it is going to be resolved, and we can see here that it has been resolved into the 3 bands. Means this spot it is consisting of how many proteins? It is consisting of the more 3 proteins. Here this second spot it is also going to be resolved into the 2. Okay, so here in these 2 spots actually how many proteins they were? they are the 5 proteins. Okay, so and here we can compare these bands with the marker proteins, and as by comparing with the markers we can identify the weight, okay, the molecular weight or the molecular mass of these bands or these proteins. In this way, okay, we can separate the proteins and we can isolate the proteins with the help of the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis. After this run, to visualize it, okay, to visualize these bands we have to stain it, and most commonly used stain, it is a Comasi brilliant blue, and the second one, it is a silver staining, that is a use of the silver nitrate. But here the Comasi brilliant blue, it is not too sensitive like the silver staining, but in the silver staining the problem it is what? The silver staining, it is going to do the covalent modifications into the proteins. So the further analysis by the mass spectroscopy, it is becoming a difficult task. So there is an invention of the new stain which is not going to do the covalent modifications into the proteins, and also it has a more sensitivity, and that it is a FYPRO stain. Okay, so here the staining it is done, and after staining there is a analysis of the bands. Now here, though it is it looks like a very simple one, but it is not that much simple. Here in the sample, okay, in the crude extract, there are the proteins which are present into the abundant amount. Some they are the subabundant amount, and some they are the rare one. Abundant means first whose concentration it is very high, subabundant it is not too high, too low, and the rare proteins means what? Whose concentration it is a lower one. So here what is going to happen when you run the gel? Okay, suppose there are the two proteins, okay, one it is an abundant protein and one it is a rare protein, and now here when you run the gel, at that time as the protein it is in a large amount, okay, as the concentration of this protein it is in a higher concentration, the spot which is going to be observed, the band which is going to be observed, it will be the darker one, okay, it will be the darker one, and the rare protein as its concentration it is a lower one, its band it is going to be a smaller one. And if their PI value, their molecular weights, they are similar one, then what is going to happen? This abundant protein now it is going to cover this rare protein. It is like how a student, a student who is a dominating one, it is going to cover the shy one. Okay, but when the shy and the dominant both they are separated, then they are going to show their own identity. That is, the shy student it is going to be express himself when it is removed, it is take away from the dominant one. Okay, in the same way here also it is going to happen that when these abundant proteins they are going to be separated from these rare proteins, then that this rare protein it is going to be in focus. Okay, so how it is going to be done? Okay, what is required to identify these rare proteins, and these rare proteins which are present into the cell, they are the proteins of the interest because they are going to make the difference between the two cells. So these rare proteins they are important one, they are the proteins of the interest. Okay, now here the second problem here, it is what, that the number of proteins they are the hydrophobic in nature. That hydrophobic proteins they cannot enter into the isoelectric they cannot enter into the gels. First dimension it is isoelectric focusing. So the protein, if it is going to enter into the isoelectric focusing gel, then and then that protein it is going to be identified. And as it is a hydrophobic protein, it cannot enter into the gel, so it may be a problem that it may not get identified. Next one, the sum of the proteins they are that is the proteins like who are going to be stable at a pH 3, that is acidic pH and the alkaline pH. That proteins, the dissolution problem is there. So here the work it has to be done on the how to dissolve the proteins and how that proteins they are allowed to enter into the isoelectric focusing gels. Okay, so here the solvents they are made which is allowing the dissolution of this protein. So the problem of entering of the proteins into the isoelectric focusing gel, it is going to be resolved. Next, it is what? The problems like this, the abundant protein, it is going to cover the rare proteins. That problem, it is going to be resolved by running number of isoelectric focusing gels, or by using the narrow pH range gels. Okay, narrow pH range means what? Suppose take the 7 to 8 pH. Okay, 7.1, 7.2, 7.3, 7.4 up to the 8. This it is what? It is a narrow pH. Or by using the flattened pH. Flattened pH means what? The range it is going to be there. A range it is how pH 4 to 7, pH 7 to 9. Okay, such a flattened pH range it is going to be used, so that there is the elimination of some of the proteins, and the proteins which are in between the 4 to 7 or in between the 7 to 9, they are only getting separated. So the resolution it is going to be increased. Okay, so in this way, to have the efficient protein separation and the isolation, the number of claws they are used and they are working, and in this way two-dimensional gel electrophoresis it is becoming a strong tool for the separation and isolation of the proteins. Okay, still there is the problem with the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis. So here we are when we are comparing the two cells. You have to make a difference between the two cells. At that time you have to run the two different gels. Okay, you have to run the two different gels, because in a one gel you have to run a single sample. Okay, as the staining procedure it is a same one. Okay, so here these are the two gels. Okay, so for the sample 1 there is a one gel, for the sample 2 there is a second gel. But here when you are running the two gels, the problem it is what? The experimental conditions they are going to vary. Okay, though you are too perfect, the little bit a smaller experimental errors they are going to be there. Okay, so here when you are going to compare two gels, you are not getting the exact results. Okay, so here and when there is when there is a comparison between the two gels, the gel matching softwares they are used and the gels they are matched. Okay, that gel matching softwares they with the help of that gel matching softwares you are going to match the spots which we have got on the two gels. Okay, now after the matching of the spots, what you are going to do? What is the purpose of the matching? You are going here, what I have said, you are comparing the cells. Okay, you have to compare the protein profiling of the two cells. You want what is the difference between the expression pattern of the two types of the cells. Now here sample 1 and sample 2. Okay, and here suppose here it is a 50 kilodalton, it is a 100 kilodalton. Okay, protein it is present. Here it is a 150 kilodalton protein is there. Okay, suppose here such a types of the proteins they are present. Okay, and now here you can see that this band 50 kilodalton band it is present, means these two proteins they are present in the both types of the cells. Okay, and here you can see that here it is a 100 kilodalton band it is present, but here it is absent. Means what? This 100 kilodalton protein, it is present into the sample 1, but it is absent into the sample 2. So in this way there is a difference. Okay, in this way there is what? There is a difference between whom? Difference between the two types of the cells. So by having the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis, okay, by having the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis, what you can do? You can compare the protein profiling of the two types of the cells, and also by observing these gels, okay, by observing these gels, by identifying the molecular mass of the cells, what molecular mass of the proteins, what you can do? You can have the cell maps, okay, cell map proteomic, okay, it is with you. That is the cell, which are the proteins which are expressing into the cells, that total protein content, it can be identified with the help of this two-dimensional gel electrophoresis. Now after staining, okay, after staining you are going to visualize it, and by comparing the band intensity, okay, by having the comparing the band intensity, you can find out the concentration of the proteins which is present into a cell. High intensity, high concentration; low intensity, low concentration. Okay, so in this way you can use the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis for the purpose of the finding out the number of proteins which are present into the cell. What is the amount of that protein into the cell? You can have the cell map proteomics into this of the cell. Next, what you have? You can have the protein expression profiling of the cells. You can compare the two types of the cells, and you can find out the biomarkers of the disease condition, okay, by having the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis. Okay, so this it is regarding the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis. Still, the problem that we have discussed, that the experimental conditions, they are going to differ, so there is a problem between the comparison of the two gels. For that purpose, the multiplex proteomics concept has been came. The concept of the multiplex proteomics has been came, and in that there is the difference gel electrophoresis. Okay, multiplex proteomics, and in that what is there? There is a DIGE, that is a difference gel electrophoresis. The problem of the resolved by having the difference gel electrophoresis, and this it is going to use the fluorescent dyes. Like your DNA microarray, the fluorescent dyes, here it is a CY3, CY5. Okay, this CY3, CY5 fluorescent dyes, it can be attached to the amine groups of the proteins. Particularly here there is a tagging to the lysines. Okay, so here there is a protein. Okay, to the protein you can tag the CY3. Here it is a protein, you can tag the CY5. Okay, so in this way you can tag the proteins. And now when you have to do the comparative analysis between the two types of the cells, when you have to compare the proteome of the two types of the cells, you can tag a sample 1 with the CY3 and sample 2 with the CY5. Okay, the two samples, okay, they are going to be tagged with the two different types of the fluorescent proteins, fluorescent dyes. Okay, and then this, it is going to be done in the first dimension by the isoelectric focusing, and then in the second dimension on the SDS pitch. Okay, so in this way, there will be what? Separation of the proteins. Okay, separation of the proteins. And now here, with the help of the scanners, okay, it is a CCD scanners they are used, and that CCD scanners, now they can analyze the fluorescence emitted by these fluorescent dyes, and the intensities of these fluorescence, it is going to tell you that what is the quantity of the proteins it is present into the sample. Okay, so here on a single gel, okay, on a single gel, by using these fluorescent dyes, you can do the comparative analysis between the two proteomes. Okay, but here the problem it is that this CY3, CY5, they are not as much sensitive as your SYPRO stain, which is used for the staining of the proteins. Okay, so here it is a very good avenue, or it is a very good technique. It is a multiplex proteomics in NADIGE. It is going to work, and which is allowing the comparison between the two proteome on the same gel. I think you may have cleared the idea about the two-dimensional gel electrophoresis and also the difference gel electrophoresis. If you all like my video, please subscribe my channels and also share my videos with your friends. And if you have any comments, if you have any doubts, you can write down into the comment box. Thank you.